So one of the things I do to decide whether I'm going to go fishing for the day is I do go on tidesforfishing.com, and what this tells me is the winds. It tells me the barometer pressure, if it's rising, stable, or falling, and if it's expected to be a good day or not. One of the things it uses a lot is the tidal coefficient. It tells me if I need to worry about getting sunburnt or not. Water temperatures. There's a whole wealth of information, and a lot of times I'll start here when it talks about the size of the waves, being most frequent waves being 1.5 and maximum waves being 6. A lot of times this will tell me whether I'm going to surf fish or go kayak fishing in the river, or if I'm going to actually take the boat out in the ocean. But the other thing, it kind of has recommendations of what times of day are supposed to be the better times to fish, and look like today right at sunset looks to be a better time, or early in the morning. I'm really not an early morning type of get up and go fisherman. I kind of like sleep sometimes more than I like waking up and catching fish. So I tend to fish sometimes during the worst parts of the day. And what this also has, it has a calendar kind of highlighting by the amount of fish here of what days are the better days of the month to fish. Now today's the 15th, and looking at the 15th, it doesn't look like it's supposed to be a very good day for fishing at all. And what I did is I dropped off my daughter at school this morning, and it's right near the beach, and so a lot of times I'll just get out and I'll look at the waves. And now what this is saying is the highest activity is going to be between 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock tonight. Unfortunately, one of my kids have a soccer game today, so I'm not going to be able to go out and fish at that time. It's supposed to be a good fishing day. Other things I have to kind of consider is, well, what's the weather going to be like? Is it going to rain? Is it going to be high winds? Because a lot of times that website will tell you it's supposed to be a good fishing day as far as the tides coming in and the sun and the moon, and whether they coincide with sunrise and sunset. So a lot of times I'll look at the calendar and it'll say a day's supposed to be the best day of the month for fishing, but then there's really harsh thunderstorms, 25-mile-an-hour winds, and then maybe the next day is supposed to be a good day, but I go out to the beach and the water is all murky and silty and really about 300 yards to shore. On those days, I find all I catch is sharks and catfish. So depending on the day, I sometimes have to decide whether I'm going to surf fish, whether I'm going to kayak fish, or whether I'm going to go on the boat. Now, having all three is actually a pretty good option. And a lot of times it could be that's just a little too choppy out in the water. Like today it says I should expect 6-foot waves out in the water, and having a 23-foot boat, 6-foot waves is just a little too choppy for me. I do have the intercoastal in the river to fish at with the kayaks, and sometimes it could be really murky and silty out in the surf. But the kayaking in the river is sometimes the best bet. And sometimes you just have to temper your expectations on a day like today that's not supposed to be a great fishing day. A lot has to do because we've had a lot of full moons or 3/4 moons and clear nights. So what's been happening is the fish have been able to feed all night. So during the day, they're just not as hungry. So if you curb your expectations and you just say, well, a bad day of fishing is still better than a good day at work, and sometimes when the weather's good, not too windy, just get out there, put your feet in the water, have your toes in the sand, and get a few casts and enjoy the sound of the waves. And if you catch a fish, well, then that's just a bonus. So on a day like today where I don't have a whole lot of time, it's about 12:30 in the afternoon, I have maybe 3 to 4 hours of fishing, and in order to take the boat out by myself, it usually takes me a lot longer to gather stuff and get things together, trail the boat, put it in the water, and same thing with the kayak. Sometimes it's just a little extra work that I really don't feel like doing. What I like about surf fishing is I live 13 minutes from the beach, and I can decide to go fishing, and all I have to do is grab a couple rods, grab my bag, throw them in the back of the car, and usually within 20 minutes I can be on the beach fishing. So that's what I'm going to do today. So on a day like today, I'm just going out for a little while, so I just want to choose what I'm going to take. I'm always going to bring my bag, and believe it or not, my cheapest rod, which was a Walmart special, I ended up putting a nicer reel on it, but this rod has outlasted every other expensive rod that I've ever purchased, and I've caught more fish on that rod than anything else. So let's see, I'll take one of those. I'll take, no, if I'm going to go shark fishing, I want one of my larger rods, but we're not going to do that today. So we'll just take a couple light rods, and again, on some days if we had cleaner water, I would take my one to cast out further and try to catch some pompano, but I don't see the pompano being out in the murky water today. They tend to like clean water. So what I'm really kind of hoping today is for whiting, maybe some margate. So I'll take this one as well, because this one at least I can have some of the bait off the bottom. I'll just grab my rod holders, and I won't take the sand flea rake today. Don't expect there to be many sand fleas out there today when wintertime gets a little cold, and if they are, I can just scoop some in my hand. So now I have to decide of where I'm going to go. Being already midday and I have some stuff I have to do tonight, I'm not going to necessarily pick the best beach. I'm going to pick one that's just close by. Now the problem with this beach, it's got a lot of rocks, which means a lot of snags, which means a lot of lost tackle, a lot of frustration. But it's really just a day to go out just for a couple hours and hopefully catch a fish or two. So heading out over to the beach. Gotta go beachside first, across the intercoastal. Again, a lot of days I'll just take the boat out here, try to catch some black drum and some mangrove snapper, some sheep's head. So as you can see, the water's pretty brown here. Not expecting a whole lot. A lot of times you come out here, it's just nice to look at the water, but the water's not that good looking today. Waves are spaced out pretty well. Looks like it's an outgoing tide. Not too many people on the beach. I usually try to find a spot away from everybody else. And I go with pretty light tackle a lot of times. When I come to the beach, you'll see people with the really big surf rods that are casting out as far as they possibly can. And I tend to find a lot of the fish just close to the surf right before where the waves are breaking. So I said not high hopes today if I can catch a few whiting. I didn't come to the beach that I was originally planning on because there's just too many surfers there. Where I was hoping to maybe catch some margate. One thing you probably did notice is I didn't pack a cooler today. I have no plans of keeping anything I catch unless I catch a pompano or something, which I doubt today. So I like to just travel light, grab a few rods, head out the door, and I want to be able to just take enough stuff that I can just carry all in one trip. So let's see what we get. So I got my 3 rods set up. About 15 minutes went by. I got my first hit. Kind of on the smaller side, but I guess most people call this a bream. Some call them a margate. I can't tell if it's a black margate because it's kind of young, but I've always called them margates. So another thing I didn't really expect this time of year was that this beach is loaded with sand fleas or mole crabs. And some pretty big ones too, so I put a large one on that rod over there. We'll see if anything's hitting those today. I've always found these things to be little interesting little things. They're called rockfish. They're usually around rocks, and they're great for making you think you have a snag because they grab your bait and they swim under the rock, and they're pretty tough to get out. So, caught a whiting. Kind of surprised it took as long as it did, but we have the dreaded catfish. Kind of expected to catch a lot more of those today. Alright, so we're getting ready to wrap things up. It's been about an hour and 45 minutes. I said I'd fish for about 2 hours, and so I got about 15 minutes left. And let's see, altogether I've probably caught about 12 fish, multiple of those bream, bunch of little whiting, a couple of rockfish, a couple catfish. Nothing that has surprised me. Everything that I've caught so far are things that I kind of expected to catch today. Altogether 4 different types of fish. Looks like I might have another one on right there. Problem I've been having is that some of the fish have been so small, and I have 3-ounce sinker weight on one and like a 2-ounce pyramid weight on the other. And I'm finding that I'm getting fish on. I don't even know there's a fish on there, and I'll just reel it in to check to see if I still have bait, and there'll be a fish on the end of the line. So what I've been catching everything on today is dead shrimp. I pretty much rip off the head, rip off the tail, and just kind of hide the hook and put it out there. I've been putting sand fleas on the far rod, and I haven't been getting any hits on it. Every now and then I'll go over and find like it half eaten, which makes me believe that's probably crabs or something like that are getting them and eating them, or maybe snails of some sort. But so far I haven't had a whole luck, but it does look like I have a fish on right here, so I'm going to reel that in.